Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video I felt like doing a pop of colour and doing a more creative look for you guys because I've never sat down and filmed like a full in-depth really creative look and how I kind of come up with them and how I do like my cut creases and all that. So I thought this could be a bit of like an informative video while using two of my favourite palettes which I've never used on my channel, which I find crazy that I've never sat down and used either of these palettes on here. But we have the Be Perfect Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette in collaboration with Stacey Marie, and then this is the Be Perfect Carnival XL Pro palette, again in collaboration with Stacey Marie. This is the second palette that they did together. This one is the third. I don't own the original one, I just never picked it up, but these two, this is the XL Pro, which is just unbelievably beautiful, and then Carnival 3 is very well loved as well, and this is just absolutely stunning. So what I want to do is more of like a tropical look today, do a cut crease and show you how I do my cut creases, and just kind of overall how I blend more high pigment shadows together and all that kind of thing, and create a really fun look for you guys. So if you want to see how I create all of my like crazy kind of weird colourful looks, continue watching and we will get right into it. So I have already done all of my base. Just as a rule of thumb, I pretty much always do my base first and then move on to my eyes, because I like to do quite blended looks kind of coming into the blush and everything. I find it so much easier to do the base, do the blush, have everything settled and ready to go that I can then blend the shadows in. Just how I find it works for me. Sometimes I'll put a bit of powder underneath my eyes if it's going to be something that's going to fall down, but we are just working with basic shadows today, so I don't need to put any powder down. So the first thing we're going to go in with is the P. Louise base. This is the P. Louise Pro base in Rumour 2. This is like a great overall shade for everyone pretty much. You really do need to, when you're working with quite colourful bases, use a base like the P. Louise base, because if you don't, the eyeshadows haven't got anything to grab on, so they're not going to show their true pigment. I like to first go in with a dense brush from P. Louise just to apply the product on, and then I go in with a dense rounded brush, which is a Morphe M173 brush, just to make sure everything is blended in. So the main focus of colours that I want to go for today are greens, blues, and then a touch of yellow and pink. So I'm gonna go in with the XL Pro first because there's so many beautiful blues and greens in this palette. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Mood, which is this deep navy blue, and I'm gonna take a Morphe small pointer brush, and this is a M506. When applying the product, I like to tap the product in, no wind like wiper motions, because it's just going to pull the product over the eye. You want to really pack it in. Then just taking a fluffy blending brush, this is in Morphe M456 brush, and I'm going to go into Soft Spot, which is this just bog standard light blue shade. Now when blending out, you want to apply half of the shadow onto the pigment that you already have on the lid and half off of it onto just the eye, and that's how you're going to get a nice soft blend. And I'm doing really small circular motions. Now because I'm very particular about my blending, I then like to go in with an even lighter shade just to really make sure that's properly blended out. So I'm going to take the shade Y though, which is this really light mint shade. Again, I'm just taking it on that fluffy brush, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Half on the shadow that you've already applied and half on just the eye base to blend it out. The key to the perfect blend is layers. You're gonna lose some of that deeper shade that you went in with first when blending out, so you want to then go back in with your darker shade and just start to add a little bit more depth that you've already lost and just blend that in. Then once you have got the shadow blended in the crease, if you want to do a cut crease, I'm going to show you how I do my cut creases to make sure that they are sharp, crisp, and you've got no colour mixing to make it look muddy. There's nothing worse than your colours all blending together and it turning into a muddy mess. So what I like to do, everybody has their own preference, but I do like to remove the shadow before then putting more base on, because the bases are designed to go straight onto your skin, not to go over top of product. They then blend and go, you know, back at that muddy mess again. So you want to remove the products you've got underneath. What I like to do is I like to use petroleum jelly, aka Vaseline. You don't need to have a massive tub like I do, but because I use it all the time and I use it for eyelashes and eyebrows and that kind of work, I just bought a massive tub of it. You don't need very much of this at all. As you can see, I've used this so much, but there's not that much missing. You just want to get a little bit of it, and I just pop it on the back of my hand and have a brush just for cutting your crease, because the Vaseline inside the brushes, you're never fully going to be able to get everything out. You're not going to want to use this on different things. So this is a brush I like to use to cut my crease. As you can see, it's a tiny little brush. It is a Sosu Kaylee SK07 brush. I'm not sure if you can get these anymore, but any type of really small little flat brush would be perfect. P. Louise do some really good ones, or you could get one off Morphe as well. So I just like to really build that product up on my brush, but again, not have too much. Just make sure all the hairs are coated. And then what you're going to do is you're going to cut your desired shape of the crease. Now I've got hooded eyes, so I like to cut above my crease. If I cut where my natural crease is, when I open my eyes, you're not going to be able to see anything. So I like to go above, and when I'm doing the look that I want to do today, where I want to have a lot of shadow in the inner corner also, I'm going to cut not from right here in, I'm going to cut further out of the eyelid. Also, I find you're better just to go for it than you are to go really, really slowly. It just works a lot easier. Just go for it. If you mess up, it's fine. You can add the shadow back or keep going. It really doesn't matter. It's just makeup. Once I have got that petroleum jelly all over the lid, just going to take a little Q-tip and remove the product. So that is how high I've cut my crease. As you can see, my natural crease kind of sits about there-ish. And that's how much higher I've gone up above it, because I want, when you open my eye, you to be able to see the work and everything that we've done. That is both eyes cut with the petroleum jelly. So as you can see how I've cut mine, I've made mine quite dramatic with it being quite rounded in, because I want it to be a block cut crease. But you have so many different ways of cutting your crease. You could have literally stopped in the middle of your eye and then blended in and done a half cut crease. You can bring it right to the very outer corners, but I don't think that's very, it looks very good on me, so I don't personally do that very often. Or you can do it like this, where you have it very kind of cut and rounded, which is the way that I am really loving doing pops of colour on the lid at the moment. Then we're going to go back in with the P. Louise base in shade Rumour 2 that we went in and primed the lid with at the beginning of this look, and just take that on a flat brush. This is again from P. Louise, and we're going to cut that crease. That is one eye cut with the base. As you can see the difference, it just really makes the eye base prominent. And then obviously I'm going to be putting some more different colours on the lid, and again that's going to do exactly the same as what we did with the blue. They will stick to this shade and just blend so much nicer on the lid. I have done that just as a little bit of an extra step. You don't really need to do this. I just like to take a clean brush and just pat that product down, just to help it kind of settle, I suppose, into the eye a little bit more, because you obviously have natural creases on your eyelid, and you don't want product to build up in that. So just doing this, I always find it just helps the base set itself down a little bit before you then go on with colours, because you don't want to have any little bits of base maybe build up, and then as soon as you put a shadow on top of it, it's just going to cling to it. Another thing I like to do is just take a little bit of the base, just pop it in the inner corner, and then just take that brush and just buff that out. I'm going to be doing a pop of colour in the inner corner, so I don't want it to be really harsh. This is at the point where you can then just take your brush with no extra product on that we went over earlier. As you can see, I've got a little tiny bit there that I just want to fix. So just go like that with your brush and just sort any little areas out if you need to. Right, okay, so let's get into a bit of colour, a little bit of colour. Now, what I'm thinking is doing a yellow to green. So what I want to go in with is the main shade that I want to go in with in the Carnival 3 palette is this shade, which is Key Lime. I absolutely love this colour so much. Such a beautiful green. Just going to take that on like a fluffy brush, and we're going to put that on the outside of the lid. And because you put that base on underneath, it's doing all the work for you. It's putting exactly where you want the colour. Right, now we have got that green down, I'm going to go back in with the XL Pro. I'm going to take the shade Keen, and we're going to pack that in the inner corner. Look at those colours, they just blend so beautifully together because yellows and greens just look gorgeous together. Now I am going to slightly cheat and just go into one other palette, just for one colour, I'm just going to go into the Mitchell Head in the Clouds palette, because he's got this beautiful shade which is called UFO, and it's like a pressed pigment yellow. It's so bright. I just want to pop some of that in the inner corner, just to really amp that neon colour up. Just gone in with a little bit of Ecstasy, which is this shade down here, which I've used a lot of, and just packing that again where that green is. Right, now we're going to go in with some pinks. So I want to do some pink underneath the eye. I think pink will just kind of give a little bit of a pop. I'm going to go in with the shade Funky. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Funky. Just build that up on like a little bullet brush. And I'm going to bring that really close to the waterline. Then I'm just taking a fluffy brush and taking the shade Foolish, which is just a lighter pink, which has got a little bit of a peachy tone in. I'm just going to connect that underneath. Now that is all of your matte basic shadows done. I think that pink underneath just gives it a little bit of a pop, something that it needed. Really like how the pink looks underneath. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some highlight. So what I'm going to take is this shade here. This is the shade Fair Play. And I'm just going to take it on a little bullet brush and put that in the inner corner, just in that yellow. So it's just going to blend in with the yellow a little bit. Under the brow, you can see it's got a little yellow hint to it, which will just kind of pull it all together. Right, now we're going to add the finishing touches to the look. I'm just going to put some liner in my waterline. I love when I do a bright look to add a cream colour. So this is the Beauty Bay Kohl liner in the shade Vanilla. So this is with the cream liner and this is without it. I just think it adds something to the eye, just makes it pop. Right, now let's add some mascara and lashes. This mascara is by Fenty Beauty. It's the full frontal mascara. I've just got a little sample size of it, but I really love it. Now for lashes, I love a big lash. I am one for a big lash, and Tatty lashes are my favourite lash brand ever. and one of my favourite styles for a more colourful look and something where I want a really bold lash is TL4. How stunning those lashes are. Just makes such a big difference. Lashes are just like one of my favourite parts of makeup. How stunning are those lashes? Like, come on, I need to order some more. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly go off camera. I'm going to do a lip. I think I'm going to do a matte pink lip. I haven't done that in ages. I've only been doing nude lips. So I feel like that could be quite cool. And we're going to add a little bit more highlighter to my cheeks. And then I will be back. Right, so I have just put on a little bit more highlight and done this lip. I'm actually really loving the lip. I haven't used this lipstick in ages, so I used the MAC lip liner in Chicory, which is like a deep nude pink kind of shade, and then in the centre of my lips I have the Glossier lipstick in Crush on my lips. This is a beautiful lipstick. I love it in the summer. Now that the weather is hopefully going to start getting better, it is raining at the moment, but I'm just manifesting that we're going to have a lovely summer this year. I feel like this lip combo is going to be a very big staple for me in the coming months. So this is the eye look all complete. Eye look is not, you know, by any means basic, but the technique is very basic. You could do what I did with the cut crease multiple different times and have lots of different cut creases. I like to do it sometimes over here and have like a cut crease coming off over here. You can do it all different shapes on the eye, like, you know, more cat eyes and everything like that. You can literally just take these techniques and form them to the shape that you want to do. This is just like a perfect way to kind of, if you know how to do this kind of look, you can pretty much create every other look. If you found this video like informative and helpful and you want to see more videos like this, please let me know, and let me know what kind of things you want to know, want to see. I love filming these kind of like informative videos, that kind of thing, because I'm a little bit of a makeup geek and I love studying other artists and seeing their different techniques, and I've done quite a lot of courses and stuff like that, so I've got all the different variation of different techniques. If there's other things you want to see, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed seeing the look I created and you want to see more from me, click over onto my YouTube channel and there's lots more content on there that you can go over and watch. If you are not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and I'm posting every single week on a Sunday evening around 5 PM, and hopefully there will be a odd vlog in there as well. But the makeup is my thing, it's my gig, it's my favourite thing to do. So there is majority makeup content over there, so please go and check it out. Please give this video a thumbs up, that would really mean the world to me if you enjoyed it, and I will see you very soon in another video.
While you drinking, fade away. All my friends, they fade away.